Standing in the center of the plaza, Wong Lin looked up at the sky. His expression was calm, as if everything before him was nothing more than passing clouds. He was just a traveler, a fleeting presence. On the elevated platforms surrounding the plaza, as soon as Wong Lin appeared, faint whispers of conversation reached his ears. Ma Lihai isn't fighting. This man may be an ally, but it will be hard for him to secure Ma Lihai's victory. This man speaks arrogantly, yet he dares not face the challenge of the demon general Shi Xiao. It's truly laughable. As an outsider, he should not act so arrogantly in the land of demonic spirits. If he does, death is the only outcome. Clearly, he doesn't understand his place. Among the voices of discussion, on the northern platform, Vice Marshal Xuan snorted lightly. Sitting beside him was a middle-aged man, dressed in blue armor. His appearance was unremarkable, yet he exuded an aura of authority. Hearing Vice Marshal Xuan snort, the middle-aged man turned to him and asked with a smile, "Vice Marshal Xuan, do you know this person?" Vice Marshal Xuan's expression darkened as he shook his head. "I don't know him." After a brief pause, he continued, "But this person will certainly rank in the top 3, perhaps even first. That will not be difficult." The middle-aged man was taken aback and looked carefully at Wong Lin standing on the plaza. His cultivation is only at the late stage of the infant metamorphosis, complete. It won't be easy for him to rank first. Vice Marshal Xuan snorted again. "Vice Marshal Huang, how about a bet? If this man doesn't rank first, I'll give you my Heavenly Omen banner. If he does, you'll give me your Xuan pill." The middle-aged man chuckled. "All right, I'll see what makes this person so special that you're so confident." Vice Marshal Xuan sneered inwardly, thinking to himself, if this person wounds you heavily too, you might change your mind. At this moment, a figure emerged swiftly from the ranks of the demon generals. Dressed in earth-colored armor, the man moved without taking a step, yet in a flash, he appeared 100 feet away from Wong Lin. "Thanks to my colleague's care, no one will take away my challenge." The man's laughter echoed, and his expression was filled with pride, radiating immense confidence. The demon general Audi. I had a feeling he would make his move. His cultivation is average among the demon generals, but he is quite opportunistic. It's shameful, yet today, he's found a perfect opportunity. By defeating this cultivator, he effectively defeats Ma Lihai. And with Ma Lihai unable to fight, a single victory here would be enough to claim the win. No wonder Audi says he's been taken care of by colleagues. Demon General Audi cupped his hands toward the surroundings, then turned to Wong Lin and said with a smile, "You can admit defeat now, and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, if I make my move, even if you can fight me to a draw, don't forget, I still have my allies." Upon hearing this, many of the surrounding demon generals showed an interest in the spectacle. However, a few among them, including Ma Fei, had expressions different from the others. Ma Fei stood quietly to the side, casting a cold glance at Wong Lin, his face devoid of emotion. Wong Lin withdrew his gaze from the sky and looked at Audi, slightly shaking his head. "You are not my match." Audi froze for a moment, then burst into wild laughter. Stepping forward, he said, "Arrogant. Let's see if you have the right to be so arrogant." As he spoke, his body stepped forward, and in the blink of an eye, he vanished without a trace. The moment he disappeared, Wong Lin's expression remained unchanged, and there was no sign of surprise. He raised his right foot and stepped forward. The ground trembled. Waves of energy radiated from the spot where Wong Lin's foot landed, sweeping outwards with ferocity. A surge of immortal energy formed into sharp swords, shooting up from the earth's surface. In that instant, it was as if the ground beneath Wong Lin was a sea of molten lava. As he stepped down, the earth shattered, and streams of lava erupted from the cracks, their red glow forming into sword-like shapes, soaring into the sky. 5 yards in front of him, Audi was forced out of the ground. He hovered in midair, his eyes wide with disbelief. His earth evasion technique, powered by his demon force and aided by his life-bound demon beast, should have been difficult to counter, especially since he had been meticulously studying the battlefield during Shi Xiao's fight. He thought he could adjust his approach and evade the collapsing earth, but now, he was caught off guard. And most importantly, the myriad Zhang Plaza of the Heavenly Demon Sect was surrounded by restrictive seals, making it far more difficult to collapse the ground than in the outside world. Even Audi had to tread carefully when using earth evasion. Yet, now he had no time to think further. As he hovered in midair, Wong Lin's gaze pierced through the swirling dust and wind, like a sharp sword striking him directly in the eyes. A chill ran down his spine, and a feeling of impending doom filled his heart. Without hesitation, he quickly retreated, his right hand swiftly striking his forehead. But just as he moved, Wong Lin stepped forward, covering several meters in a single stride, and arrived beside AOD. Wong Lin's right hand, as flashes of gray light marked his palm, grabbed the hand AOD had raised to strike his forehead. AOD's face changed drastically. The opponent's palm felt like a burning hot iron clamp. He struggled, but surprisingly, could not break free. With a low growl, AOD bit the tip of his tongue and spat a blood arrow directly at Wong Lin. The moment the blood arrow appeared, it immediately released waves of demonic energy, transforming into a phantom-like dragon turtle. With a dragon's roar, it lunged towards Wong Lin. Wong Lin's expression remained calm, and before the blood arrow even neared his face, it collided with layers of invisible seal of life in the air, each layer dissolving the arrow. By the time the 800th layer was reached, the arrow vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Wong Lin, still holding AOD's right hand, swung him aside. His immortal power surged into AOD's body, violently destroying his meridians inch by inch, like a force that couldn't be stopped. Stop! At that moment, the golden-armored man in charge of the demon general war suddenly opened his eyes, a cold, eerie gleam flashing in them. Wong Lin's gaze flickered. Rather than stopping, he released another surge of immortal power, completely obliterating the already destroyed meridians. Afterward, he let go, and AOD's body was immediately thrown away by the force. Mid-air, AOD heard loud cracking sounds from within his body. A massive cloud of blood mist burst from him. Pain, excruciating pain, was the only sensation he felt. His body fought desperately to resist the immortal power invading it, and in this violent clash, it felt as if he were in hell. Deputy General Xian sucked in a cold breath. The scene reminded him of his battle with Wong Lin. Seeing AOD, it was like looking at his past self. Bull! The golden-armored man stretched out his right hand, and golden light from the sun above gathered in his palm, rapidly forming into a golden spear. In an instant, the spear seemed as if he had captured the very sunlight. He threw it toward Wong Lin. Wong Lin did not even look at the golden spear rushing toward him. His body flickered, leaving behind a blur, and dashed toward AOD in midair. He grabbed AOD's right hand once more and shook it violently. AOD felt as though his entire body had been struck by a furious wave. A tremendous force surged through his right hand and entered his body, creating a series of loud, cracking noises. His bones instantly separated from his flesh, shattered to pieces. Every part of his body screamed in pain, far stronger than the previous meridian impacts. Wong Lin released his grip, and AOD crashed to the ground, raising a cloud of dust. He was like a drifting thread of fate, still alive, but barely. After completing the action, Wong Lin suddenly turned around. His right hand formed a seal, and layers of seal of life rapidly gathered in his palm. In that instant, the golden spear whistled toward him. The power of this spear was incredible, as if it could split the heavens apart. The moment it was hurled, Wong Lin felt as if he had been locked onto. As the spear neared him, Wong Lin's eyes revealed a decisive light, with a glimmer of energy that hinted at the power of an ancient restriction. He slapped his hand onto the spear. With that slap, the spear emitted a deep hum, and simultaneously, Wong Lin struck again. The locations of both slaps were different, and his body flashed. The golden spear whizzed past him with a sharp whoosh. Wong Lin withdrew his hand and coldly looked at the golden-armored man, speaking in a calm tone. "What is your intention, my lord? Do you intend to break the rules?" His expression remained unchanged, but his inner vigilance was clear. The power of that golden spear was formidable. The golden-armored man gazed deeply at Wong Lin for a moment, then clenched his right hand in the air. The golden spear that had passed by Wong Lin immediately trembled and transformed into beams of sunlight, vanishing into nothingness. At that moment, a profound silence filled the air. The audience in the stands was stupefied, watching the unexpected turn of events. The people present couldn't believe their eyes. The mighty demon general had been reduced to this by an outsider. Although he was still alive, his meridians were severed and his bones shattered. Such a person had become completely useless. Unless the demon emperor bestowed upon him the highly precious heavenly demon pill, even a demon marshal would need countless merits to obtain one. A mere demon general like AOD could never receive such a pill. Had the battle been prolonged and AOD defeated after a fierce contest, the audience could have accepted it. But this outcome had unfolded in the blink of an eye, leaving no time for the tides of battle to shift. This moment shattered their pride as inhabitants of the land of demonic spirits. It was known that in past demon general wars, there were only a few rare occasions when a demon general had been so severely beaten. As for being defeated by an outsider, this was a first. Among the other demon generals, sounds of sucking in breath could be heard. Their gazes toward Wong Lin immediately changed. This person is very strong. A demon general, exuding an aura of coldness, stared at Wong Lin, a glint of battle intent flashing in his eyes. He was Xun'er, the demon general who practiced the path of slaughter. Interesting, I didn't expect Mo Lihai to have such a backup move. I wonder, if I unleash the 7 demon arts, how many demons could he handle? The demon general wore a black-haired man. He touched the ring on his finger, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Such ruthlessness. Deputy General Xian gripped the armrests of his seat tightly, his gaze fixed on Wong Lin, his heart churning with stormy waves. On the north and south spectator stands, 8 demon commanders. All of them now fixed their gazes on Wong Lin. Among them, one man dressed in a blue robe, elegant in manner, looked at Wong Lin with a hint of admiration in his eyes. Clean and decisive, no hesitation, this boy, not bad. Chen Tao stood beside Shi Xiao, now staring blankly at Wong Lin. This former junior brother of his had completely changed from the person he once knew. Now he was far stronger, so strong, in fact, that it was somewhat terrifying. It was one thing to defeat AOD, but what truly made Chen Tao's gaze freeze was when Wong Lin slapped the golden spear. Chen Tao was very clear about what that golden spear was. He had heard Tian Yunzi speak of a divine ability in the past, one that could draw the sunlight, condense it into power, and transform that power into liquid form. Tian Yunzi had praised this ability greatly. Though the golden armored man had not reached the level where the light could be turned into liquid, something Tian Yunzi had greatly admired. This spear was undeniably made from the sun's light. That spear, Chen Tao believed he could also deflect with a slight touch, but to strike it twice like Wong Lin did, completely altering its direction, that was no easy feat. This wasn't an issue of cultivation or immortal power. It was a matter of calculation, a matter of deduction. If he is at his current level and challenges me for the title of the 7 children of heavenly destiny again, even if I win, I'll be severely injured and need to close myself off for 100 years, and it's very likely that my cultivation will fall. Chen Tao took a deep breath, looking at Wong Lin with a gaze full of complexity. Among the crowd, the happiest was undoubtedly Mo Lihai. A smile he couldn't hide appeared on his face, as once again, he felt his initial decision had been wise and powerful. I have this connection with him, and I will never be his enemy. The stronger Wong Lin becomes, the greater my chance of victory. But Chief Steward Jean is somewhat overbearing. If I ever become Chief Commander, I'll make sure to teach this person a lesson. A cold snort echoed through the plaza, the sound like a thunderclap ripping through the sky, accompanied by the rumbling of thunder, bringing the focus of most people back to the source of the sound. The golden armored man pointed at Wong Lin with his right hand, shouting, "Do you know? Anyone who kills a demon general must be executed. Since Demon General AOD has yet to die, I will spare you this time. Anyone who assisted AOD, step forward." A silence spread through the crowd, and after a moment, a weak voice emerged from within. "I forfeit." The golden armored man's gaze turned cold as he looked at Wong Lin and said, "You win this round. Leave the stage." Wong Lin didn't speak. He walked toward the demon generals, and as he did, several standing in front of him instinctively stepped back, parting to create a path. Wong Lin walked over to Mo Lihai's side. Mo Lihai, with a joyful expression, whispered, "Brother Wong, don't worry. That Chief Steward Jean is nothing but a castrated man. If His Majesty the Demon Emperor favors you, what does Chief Steward Jean even count for?" Wong Lin smiled slightly, but didn't respond. At that very moment, deep within the Imperial Palace in the capital, at the Sword Pavilion, the Imperial Sword, embedded in the ground, emitted a series of humming sounds. It immediately sensed the presence of a certain entity that filled it with indignation the moment Wong Lin made his move. In a fit of rage, the sword flew out of the ground, ready to rush recklessly to tear this person apart, much like it had done with the blood prison countless times. But just as it was about to take flight, it hesitated. After all, the demon sovereign had told it to remain quiet for a few days and not to leave during the demon general war. Otherwise, it would be sent to the dragon pool. With that thought, the imperial sword emitted several frustrated sword cries, its tip angrily pointing toward the heavenly demon sect. After struggling for a long time, the sword finally shimmered and transformed into a young woman in her 20s, her body radiant and beautiful. She landed on the ground, kicking her legs wildly, and every time she kicked, sword light flashed from her feet. In the midst of thunderous rumblings, parts of the sword pavilion were destroyed. Only after this rage had somewhat subsided did the sword spirit look around. Her eyes turned as she spoke to herself. The demon sovereign told the imperial sword not to go out. But I'm the sword spirit. I should be fine, right? I won't strike. Just go to take a look at that annoying food. I'll remember his aura so I can find him later. It should be okay. The young woman blinked, her body swaying as she floated out of the sword pavilion, heading straight toward the heavenly demon sect. As she neared the myriad Zhang Plaza, her body became intangible, and she drifted lightly to the palace in front of the plaza, sitting atop a palace tile, looking down. The moment she appeared on the palace roof, 8 pairs of eyes from the plaza turned toward her, seemingly casually. The young woman's body shuddered, sticking out her tongue. The 8 gazes came from the 8 demon commanders on the north and south sides. The 8 of them merely swept their eyes over her and quickly retracted their gazes, with a few of them even showing a slight smile at the corners of their mouths. Wong Lin was watching the remaining demon generals' competition when suddenly, a stir rose in his heart. He felt a slight connection in his mind with Su Liguo, who was inside the immortal sword. After all, Su Liguo was the demon he had refined. Right now, Su Liguo wasn't staying quietly inside the immortal sword. Instead, with a very excited tone, he shouted in Wong Lin's mind, "Master, let me out. My spring has come. Let me out quickly. What's going on?" Wong Lin responded mentally, "Master, do you still remember that imperial sword from these past few days? I didn't pay much attention to it before, but today, when I took a look, the sword spirit of that imperial sword is actually such a delicate, watery little beauty." Wong Lin's body trembled, interrupting Su Liguo's words. He said, "Is she here?" "She's up there on the palace, Master. You can't see her. Only I can," Su Liguo said smugly. However, after saying this, he suddenly shivered inwardly, remembering Wong Lin's infamous title as the Slaughter Star. He quickly added, "This has nothing to do with cultivation level. I can see her because I learned a sword spirit technique from Little Black Blade. It's something Little Black taught me. He said that we high-level sword spirits can still sense the presence of other companions, even when in storage pouches. But it only works after they leave the sword body. Master, hurry up. She's about to look over here. Don't worry, others can't see me. Little Black has a secret move that can conceal all sword spirit presence. With his help, it's fine." Wong Lin frowned. He slapped his storage pouch with his right hand, opening a crack, and Su Liguo immediately flew out from it. His appearance didn't attract anyone's attention. He moved like a wisp of invisible smoke, heading straight for the palace above. "Little beauty, your grandpa Su. Your brother Su is here. Damn, it's been so many years since that seductive beauty back then. After she was ruined by the Slaughter Star, I haven't touched anyone else. Now this little beauty, I'm not letting her go." Su Liguo leered as he swiftly pounced toward the sword spirit maiden on the palace. The young maiden, about to look for that hateful food, suddenly froze. She stared blankly at Su Liguo, who was rapidly approaching her, baring his claws. She froze for a moment. Seeing the little beauty's astonishment, Su Liguo became even more smug. He immediately lunged toward her, but the maiden narrowed her eyes and kicked out. A wave of invisible sword chi flew directly towards Su Liguo. Su Liguo grinned. We're both sword spirits, why the hostility? As he spoke, he dispersed his body, allowing the sword chi to pass through him. In the next instant, he reformed, lunging forward like a wicked wolf once again. The young maiden shot him a fierce glare. She had no time to look for food anymore. She immediately fled, while Su Liguo lecherously laughed and quickly pursued. The two sword spirits vanished from the palace. Little beauty, just give in to me. I'll make sure you live the good life, eating well and living comfortably. Don't be fooled by my appearance. I have little brothers too. One of them is called Little Black. In response, a sword chi shot toward him. Little beauty, you've got quite the temper, huh? It's fine, your brother Su loves wild ones. My master once said, the more temperamental the little girl, the more she has a small, cute waist. Another sword chi came, but this time, along with the sword chi, there was an angry, feminine voice shouting, your master isn't a good thing either. Go away. You dare insult my master? Little Black, did you hear that? It's not that I want you to make a move because of personal feelings, but I have to correct her impression of my master. Catch her. I'm going to have a good chat with her. In response were sword chi after sword chi, each accompanied by Su Liguo's lecherous laughter. As sword spirits, Su Liguo wasn't originally a match for the maiden. However, with Little Black's help, things were more balanced now, and neither could fully dominate the other. Moreover, Su Liguo's current state of excitement greatly boosted his strength, allowing him to perform far beyond his usual limits. Before that slaughter star turned me into a demon, I was once a great tyrant. Zizi, those good old days have been gone for too long. Today, I finally found that old feeling again. Beautiful woman, don't run. But suddenly, Su Liguo's lecherous laughter stopped abruptly. From a distance, his furious roar echoed. Shameless. You actually returned to the sword body. Wait for it. I, Su Liguo, will come. Inside the sword pavilion, the snake-shaped imperial sword furiously shattered things around it, repeatedly attempting to break free and slash at the shameless creature. But in the end, it restrained itself. This shameless sword spirit is even more hateful than that food. The sword spirit maiden, perhaps afraid of Su Liguo's constant harassment, never emerged again after returning to the sword body. The first day of the demon general battle ended, and with the fall of night, the demon generals walked out of the heavenly demon sect and returned to their respective dwellings. This first round would take 7 to 10 days to complete, but fortunately, the victors would not need to return. Thus, Wong Lin was granted a brief respite. Wong Lin had no desire to watch the daily trials between the demon generals or the brutal battles among cultivators, so he simply chose not to think about it. Every day, he sat by the river, enjoying the sound of the zither and sipping wine, living quite freely. In contrast to Wong Lin, Mo Lihai's state of mind was not as steady. He went to the imperial capital every day to observe the battles, recording the matches of those he thought might pose a threat to Wong Lin using his divine powers. At night, he would return and deliver them to Wong Lin. All of his hopes were now placed entirely on Wong Lin. In these past few days, Wong Lin's mind and body had fused with the zither's melody, using it to touch upon his own Tao. He had been listening to the zither for quite some time, yet he had always approached it with a transient mindset, savoring the 5 flavors hidden within the music. As for Su Liguo, ever since he saw the sword spirit maiden, he had been incessantly speaking to Wong Lin, mostly asking him to release him so he could meet the little beauty. One day, as the painted boat had not yet arrived, Wong Lin leaned lazily on the riverbank, holding a wine flask, gazing at the white clouds in the sky. The clouds seemed to have changed in his eyes. People often compare clouds to something ethereal and elusive, but these clouds, like the zither music, are not empty. They reflect the human heart's fleeting nature. If the heart is not fleeting, then the clouds remain fixed. If the heart leaves no trace, the music fades. Wong Lin muttered to himself, a confused look in his eyes. To reach the peak, how can one fulfill the requirements of the conceptual realm? The nascent soul reaches the conceptual realm through enlightenment, and through this, the soul transforms into the infant metamorphosis. It is only after the infant metamorphosis that the conceptual realm can merge with the body. But even then, reaching the peak is still not enough. I have already fused my conceptual realm into my body, and even my Tao heart was perfected when Yuan fell into her slumber. But still, something is missing. What is this final step? Each person experiences the conceptual realm differently, leading them down different paths. One cannot inquire about another's Tao. Even if one knows it, it brings no benefit, only hindrance. The path of Tao can only be walked alone, with personal experience and understanding. A deeper confusion filled Wong Lin's eyes. Just then, Su Liguo's frantic voice suddenly echoed in his mind, sounding as if he were tearing at his heart. "Master, please let me out. That little beauty must be missing me terribly after so long. Master, how can you bear to break apart this destined relationship? Please, release me." Wong Lin's brow furrowed. Su Liguo had been relentlessly complaining and shouting day after day. A few days ago, he had sealed their connection to find peace, but now, Su Liguo had broken through the seal and was shouting again. "Wong Lin, back when you separated me from the great beauty, I thought you had some grand plan. But now, that poor beauty has become a mere tool in your affair with that little wretched woman you." "Enough," Wong Lin said flatly. "Enough? Not enough. Let me out so I can find the little beauty. That's what would be enough." Su Liguo's voice weakened. He vaguely sensed that something in his words had triggered Wong Lin's ire, but upon remembering the divine powers he had learned recently, his confidence returned. Just as he was about to continue, Wong Lin slapped his storage pouch with his right hand. The immortal sword instantly flew out, and Su Liguo cheered. In the blink of an eye, he transformed and emerged from the sword. A thick black mist formed, taking on the shape of Su Liguo. He chuckled lewdly, ready to rush straight to the imperial capital. At that moment, Wong Lin's eyes glinted with cold light, and with a swift motion of his right hand, the immortal sword appeared in his grasp. A single swipe across the sword made it tremble lightly. Su Liguo paused, then shrieked, "Wong Lin, what are you going to do?" Wong Lin gave him a cold glance, and in that instant, it was as if a bucket of ice-cold water had been poured over Su Liguo's head. He immediately snapped out of his lustful haze. Wong Lin's gaze instantly reminded Su Liguo of the time when he had been forged into a demon by this very man. The scenes of bloodshed from hundreds of years ago flashed before his mind. This is the star of calamity. He'll do anything. Back then, he slaughtered the entire Tang family and killed countless people on the Vermilion Bird Star. I. Su Liguo shuddered. Master. Su Liguo quickly changed his expression, showing a flattering smile. Wong Lin stared coldly at him. The more Su Liguo acted this way, the more terrified he became. The memories of Wong Lin's past bloodbaths flooded his mind. "I gave you the body of a demon, helped you evolve into a sword spirit, and even bestowed upon you the immortal sword for protection," Wong Lin said in a neutral tone, but to Su Liguo, it felt like a silent lament. "Now, I'm taking it all back." Wong Lin swiped his left hand across the immortal sword, and immediately Su Liguo let out a painful cry. His body shuddered as Wong Lin severed his connection with the flying sword. Su Liguo's body instantly turned into black mist. At the moment Wong Lin severed the link, he felt a killing intent that had been absent for hundreds of years, an aura of murder. Damn it, this is real killing intent. This star of calamity really wants to kill me. Su Liguo screamed and immediately tried to flee. Since his service to Wong Lin during the battle with the giant demon clan's ancestor, he had never felt this kind of murderous energy that had once accompanied him for most of his life. A tiger will always be a tiger, no matter how tame it becomes. It will never be a cat. Su Liguo bitterly laughed to himself, recalling an old saying from his hometown. As Su Liguo tried to escape, Wong Lin's eyes flashed with cold light, and instantly, several restrictions formed around Su Liguo's body. Su Liguo screamed as his entire form flickered and transformed into a sword shape. A surge of sword chi whistled out, breaking through Wong Lin's restrictions and racing towards the distance. Wong Lin's gaze hardened, and a cold smile spread across his face. It seemed Su Liguo had indeed hidden many things, like this transformation into a sword shape. There was no way he could do this on Vermilion Bird Star. At this moment, the storage pouch at Wong Lin's waist began making banging sounds, indicating something inside was crashing wildly against it. Wong Lin's right hand slapped the pouch, reinforcing the seals on it. Having done that, he coldly gazed in the direction Su Liguo had fled, his voice low as he commanded, "Come back." As his voice echoed, the restriction he had placed inside Su Liguo's body exploded. From a distance, Su Liguo's wails could be heard, but soon they faded away, and Wong Lin's cold glare grew even more intense. Although Su Liguo had somehow resisted the mental restrictions, he couldn't sever his connection with Wong Lin. With this, Wong Lin knew he could track him down. Su Liguo fled desperately. He was now a soul body, and having become a sword spirit, his speed had increased several-fold. His heart filled with fear, but he used all his strength, fleeing like a phantom, disregarding everything else. This star of calamity, after all the hard work I've done for him, he wants to kill me just like that. All I ever did was fancy a little beauty, kept some small secrets, and planned to take the immortal sword and little black away one day. Oh, Su Liguo sighed, realizing why Wong Lin was going to kill him. Since coming into contact with the little black blade, the two soul bodies had communicated endlessly. He had learned many of the sword spirit's powers, and with little black blade's help, the two sword spirits had almost exhausted all methods to loosen the restrictions Wong Lin had placed within his body. Su Liguo, being timid, acted with extreme caution. He only allowed the restrictions to loosen during Wong Lin's battle with others, so Wong Lin hadn't noticed. Originally, he had been very proud of himself, but now, he had underestimated Wong Lin's suspicion and scheming, and his weaknesses were exposed. Ah, if only I had known. Su Liguo shook his head, quickly fleeing. He moved so fast that before long, he had already escaped Celestial Demon City. As he left the city, he glanced back toward the imperial capital, a look of melancholy in his eyes. "Goodbye, my beloved little beauty. If I ever return, I'll come find you." Su Liguo, even at this moment, could only think of his little beauty, forgetting about his little brother, the Black Blade. With a tragic look in his eyes, Su Liguo turned and was about to continue on his way when he suddenly stopped. His face changed slightly, then immediately adopted a fawning expression as he flattered, "Master, Master, you move so fast. Looks like your cultivation has made great progress lately. Truly, you are worthy of being my master, Su Liguo." 10 yards in front of Su Liguo, Wong Lin appeared with a cold, indifferent expression. "You have quite a boldness," Wong Lin said slowly. Su Liguo trembled, immediately kneeling on the ground with a thud, hammering his chest, his face filled with sorrow as he begged for mercy. "Master, I was wrong, truly wrong. I won't dare again." As he was speaking, suddenly, the restriction on Wong Lin's storage pouch collapsed. A flash of black light shot out from within, and, without Wong Lin's permission, it flew out on its own. This black light flickered and, with unimaginable speed, rushed straight towards Wong Lin. Had Wong Lin still been at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage, he wouldn't have been able to dodge this black light at such a short distance. Even now, having reached the late stage of infant metamorphosis, it wouldn't be easy to avoid it. However, at this moment, Wong Lin didn't even glance at the black light. This time, he was determined to fully subdue the black crescent blade. The seal of life on his body instantly spread out. When the black light struck him, it hit with a metallic clash, and the black crescent blade was immediately sent flying back. Wong Lin pinched with 2 fingers of his right hand, but despite the intense, shrill blade screech, the black crescent blade avoided his fingers. It then arced in a swift motion and charged toward him again, this time targeting Wong Lin's forehead. Clang! The metallic sound echoed again as the black crescent blade was deflected once more. It seemed to be enraged, retreating wildly and preparing to attack again, but just as it was about to strike, it suddenly turned and flew towards Su Liguo, attempting to take him away. Interesting. Wong Lin's gaze flashed. This time, with the help of the seal of life, handling the crescent blade was far easier than it had been the first time. As the blade flew towards Su Liguo, Wong Lin took a step forward. His immortal power surged from beneath his feet, instantly spreading within 100 yards. The restriction within Su Liguo's body immediately aligned with the immortal power, creating a momentary stasis. Su Liguo's expression showed resolve, as if he had truly repented. But deep down, he was cursing Wong Lin in his mind, though it was of no real use. At the same time, Wong Lin formed a hand seal, and a series of restrictions appeared from his hands, hanging in the air and forming an incomplete set of seals. One crucial restriction was missing, and that one was hidden within Su Liguo's mind. Back in the day, Wong Lin's methods, though aided by his blood, were not as refined as they were now. As the restrictions were fully cast, Su Liguo's body uncontrollably moved toward them. The black crescent blade was anxious, trying to stop it, but Wong Lin stepped forward and was soon close enough that the blade had to avoid him. This delay gave Su Liguo no time to resist. He watched helplessly as the restrictions fused into his body. His body shuddered, and his face once again turned to one of fawning obedience as he pleaded, "Master, now that the restrictions are in place, please spare me. I truly won't dare again." Wong Lin ignored Su Liguo and reached for the black crescent blade. The blade tried to evade again, but Wong Lin's eyes flashed coldly, and he growled, "Killing intent." In that instant, a surge of gray qi erupted from the center of Wong Lin's forehead. Over 3,000 strands of gray qi surged out in the blink of an eye, surrounding the black crescent blade. The blade, with its incredible speed, tried to break through the encircling qi, but as it attempted to escape, Wong Lin's fingers appeared in front of it. With a flick, the blade was sent back. "Converge," Wong Lin said in a low voice. The over 3,000 strands of killing intent quickly condensed into a spherical shape. Inside, the sound of constant clashes rang out, but the crescent blade could not break free no matter how hard it tried. Not even sparing the blade another glance, Wong Lin's cold gaze fell upon Su Liguo. Su Liguo shivered, forcing a silly smile. "Master, what are your orders? Should I go and advise Little Black to behave in the future? Do you know why I didn't let you go find that sword spirit?" Wong Lin asked, his gaze fixed on Su Liguo. Su Liguo quickly nodded, saying, "I know, I understand." He spoke with his mouth, but inwardly, he thought, "Clearly, he's trying to tear me apart from the little beauty. I bet he's eyeing her for himself. Alas, I, Su Liguo, am so charming, yet young and already burdened with the hatred of a wife-stealer." The celestial demon city is full of powerful figures. Do you really think no one will notice you? If discovered, with your strength, you'll be captured and refined into a spirit tool for their sword spirit. Su Liguo, don't you understand? Wong Lin's voice, like the sound of a giant bell, reverberated within Su Liguo's mind. Su Liguo shuddered, stunned. After a moment, he muttered, This shouldn't be discovered, right?" He inwardly cursed his luck, but hearing Wong Lin's words, he began to believe it. If he were caught, he couldn't help but wonder if the person would be as curious as the giant demon ancestor. However, if that little beauty's master were to catch him, it would actually be a good thing. That way, he could be closer to the little beauty. This thought lingered in Su Liguo's mind, but he dared not speak it aloud to Wong Lin. Wong Lin shot a cold glance at Su Liguo, as if seeing right through his thoughts. Feeling guilty, Su Liguo didn't look away. Instead, he widened his eyes and stared back at Wong Lin. In his heart, he steeled himself, thinking, hold firm. If I hold firm, I win. The more nervous I am, the more I must hold on. You've learned quite a bit from the blade spirit of that black crescent blade, Wong Lin said slowly. Su Liguo blinked, then immediately and without hesitation began listing everything he had learned about the sword spirit's abilities. He spoke of his ability to hide his aura, to gradually merge completely with the immortal sword, and how, at full strength, the power of the sword was significantly enhanced, among other things. As he spoke, he kept a careful eye on Wong Lin's expression, his heart filled with caution. This was a sensation he hadn't experienced in over 100 years, and now, looking back, it felt just as familiar as ever. After Su Liguo finished speaking, Wong Lin's right hand reached out and grasped the small ball formed from the killing intent. It was silent now, no longer pulsing with the sound of thumping. The moment Wong Lin's hand touched it, streams of killing intent began flowing back into his body, through his palm. As only a few hundred strands of killing intent remained, a sharp blade aura suddenly surged out. However, entangled by the killing intent, its speed was naturally somewhat slowed. Wong Lin was already prepared. His fingers pinched together, and the blade aura immediately shattered. The black crescent blade struggled violently between his fingers. Wong Lin exhaled a breath of primordial spirit energy, which landed on the blade. His eyes flashed with electric light, and with no time to refine it properly, he used a forceful method, even at the cost of damaging his spiritual body, to directly imprint his primordial spirit seal onto the blade. After finishing this, he flicked his right hand, and the crescent blade flew into the air, letting out an unwilling cry. He then drew the immortal sword and threw it towards Su Liguo. Su Liguo's face lit up with joy, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Quickly, he entered the sword and merged with it. In the air, both the sword and the blade flew. Seeing that Su Liguo was no longer in danger, the crescent blade hesitated for a moment. Though it had a strong dislike for Wong Lin, it followed him nonetheless, staying by Su Liguo's side. To be precise, the crescent blade followed Su Liguo. Inside the immortal sword, Su Liguo glanced at the black crescent blade beside him and thought with pride, "That little black blade, which even the Death Star couldn't fully tame, I can just wave my finger and make it my underling. It seems my charm is far greater than that of the Death Star." Thinking this, a sense of satisfaction washed over him. He secretly mused, "No matter how powerful the Death Star is, it can't compare to me in this regard. I can bend or straighten as needed, and that's something he can't match. Also, I have a way with women. Beautiful women, little beauties, they all fall for me. And that's something he definitely can't do." Looking at it this way, apart from the Death Star's slightly higher cultivation, there's nothing about him that's better than me. Sigh, a demon like me, so rare in the world, I feel so lonely. Su Liguo thought to himself, thoroughly satisfied, and even feeling a bit superior. As he looked toward Wong Lin, his spiritual body in the sword held a hint of both sympathy and smugness. Wong Lin patted his storage pouch, and Su Liguo immediately shot into it, with the crescent blade following closely behind. Just as Su Liguo was about to enter the storage pouch, he suddenly stopped, looking distantly toward the direction of the imperial capital. He sighed inwardly. "Little beauty, your big brother Su is back. I'm not leaving this celestial demon city without taking you with me."